Beyond the horizon. The offshore paramedics domain. Working as a paramedic is tough. You're dealing with emergencies every day. Now imagine doing that on a ship, miles from shore. That's the life of an offshore paramedic. These are the folks who keep crews safe on oil rigs, drilling ships and research vessels. They even work on the ships that launch those underwater robots, ROVs. And let's not forget the dive vessels. These paramedics are trained to handle anything out there on the open ocean. These aren't your typical ambulances. They're more like floating emergency rooms. They're stocked with everything from bandages to ventilators. Offshore paramedics have to be ready for anything. They might be treating a cut or dealing with a heart attack. The work is demanding, but it's also rewarding. Knowing you're the only one who can help in a life or death situation, that's a heavy load. But these men and women handle it. They're a special breed, these offshore paramedics. They've got the guts and the grit to handle anything the ocean throws at them. It's an adventure like no other, and it's a calling that only a few can answer. A world of difference. Scope of practice at sea. You might think an offshore paramedic does the same thing as a city paramedic, just on a boat. You'd be wrong. Offshore, the scope of practice is way broader. On land, a paramedic might stabilize a patient and rush them to the hospital. At sea, that hospital could be days away. Offshore paramedics have to be ready to handle more advanced procedures. They might have to set a broken bone, stitch up a wound, or even deliver a baby. And forget calling in a specialist for a second opinion. They're it. They rely heavily on telemedicine, talking to doctors on shore. But even with that, they're making tough calls on their own. It's a different world out there, and these paramedics are trained to handle it. Guardians of the rig. The weight of responsibility. Imagine being responsible for the health of 200 people, all in the middle of the ocean. That's the reality for offshore paramedics. They're often the only medical professional on board. They're not just treating emergencies, they're providing routine care too. They might be checking blood pressure, giving vaccinations, or treating the flu. They're part doctor, part counselor, part friend. They get to know the crew, their medical histories, their families. It's a unique bond, built on trust and the knowledge that when things go south, the offshore paramedic is there. That kind of responsibility isn't for everyone. But these are the folks who run towards danger, not away from it. They're the guardians of the rig, the silent sentinels of the sea.